All right. What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Book is entitled Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father at Amazon, Kindle, Create Space. A link will be in the description box below. As usual, this video is basically entitled, Black men aren't homophobic, but we do have issues with it. Anti-gravity, what's happening, fam? Angel, what's up? Donnell, good afternoon. So what I'm going to talk about today, cool, appreciate it. What I'm going to talk about today is I wound up having a conversation with a family member and somehow being homophobic popped up. So I was like, brother's not really homophobic like that, but we have issues with things that go on as far as the LGBT community when it pertains to us as men. So first thing I'm going to start with is the L, right? What's up, Doug? We're not, and homophobia means scared, so we're not really scared of nobody, but what people use it for is hate. Most men don't hate lesbians. Let's just be honest with you. We don't really care about lesbians like that. But we do have certain issues with lesbians, and some of the issues pertain to their bad representation of emulating manhood and black men in particular. That's why I say black men. What's up, cats? Black men aren't homophobic, but black men are used as the staple, the end all be all as far as being violent and abusive, right? But lesbians are far more abusive in relationships than men are. But you know what? Appreciate that, nobody takes that into consideration. And being around lesbians sometimes make us uncomfortable because they have this weird thing where they want to be men and then they want to be women, and sometimes and they kind of interchangeable, flip-flop. So we don't really have the time to play that little game. Sometimes they want to how can I say this? Be swagger jackers, right? They're like, okay. But if you're going to be a swagger jacker, don't on one end give me your spiel on what a man is supposed to be by the way you want to do it, and then try to tell me that I am or am not a man of your standards. That makes no sense. So we have problems with that, So that's one of the problems with lesbians. The other thing is, just that community, homosexual community, has an issue with child molesters and pedophilia. But lesbians in particular have this thing where they can get over, because when a lesbian is grown and dating a teenage girl, it's not looked at. It's just people just brush their hands at that. They wipe it away like, oh, it's not a big deal. It actually is a big deal. If you had you see these guys, as they say they're 30 years old dating a 16-year-old, people got a problem with it. But if it's a 30-year-old woman dating a 16-year-old girl, people act like there's no problem with that. And guys have an issue with that because it's like, look, man, you can manipulate and molest a girl if you're a girl, and nobody sees anything wrong with that. Just like, back in the past, they would say, these male teachers are predators because they're having sex with their high school students. You notice how even when female teachers have sex with young boys nowadays, people don't really hold these people's feet to the fire. And that's with a heterosexual child predator. But when the women do it, it's just like it's non-existent for the most part. Like, they're both women, they'll figure it out. This bull. Now, that's why it's an issue, because what if a man finds out his daughter is dating a 30-year-old woman and he treats her the same way he would treat a 30-year-old man that he found out dating his 16-year-old daughter? All of a sudden they would say something like, that man is too aggressive, he's too abusive, you shouldn't put your hands on a woman. That's where men have a problem with lesbians. You get what I'm saying? Like, real problem, you know. And if you notice, lesbians don't try to put themselves in them positions, because people know they're crossing the line, but at the same time wanting to hide behind being a woman when they cross the line. Nobody likes that. Now, there's also an issue with the B, which is bisexuals. Oops, I'm tripping now. My Bob Marley got on the wrong side. Now, what's good, folks? Bisexuals have an issue that brothers are not cool with, because if you're a bisexual man, men just gonna flat out tell you you gay. We're not trying to play that game with you. We're not trying to hang out with you if you call yourself a bisexual man, because bisexual men or guys who want to be called bisexual want to play both sides of the fence. And it's not that they play both sides of the fence that really rubs us the wrong way, because America likes to play both sides of the fence. It's that they like to play both sides of the fence with manhood. And see, men have a certain code, okay? And when you start trying to be opportunistic with the code of manhood, all men are going to have a problem with that across the board. But this video, I'm just talking about black men, right, at the particular point. Right. But they do pick a side. They just pick a side, the side that they want to get over on at that particular moment, cats. So that becomes the problem, because, when women would complain about, quote unquote, men on the down low, guys would be like, he ain't on the down low, he gay. And then people will say, no, what, he's bisexual. Well, see, here's the problem. If his woman didn't know he was bisexual, then he lied to her in the first place about him being homosexual. He took her choice away, right? But what bisexual men do, it's similar to what gay men do. All of a sudden you want to hide behind you, but you a man. But we don't have the same mentality, bro. We don't get down the same. So don't be bisexual. Don't be, you're gay when you want to be with men. You're straight when you want to be with women. And then you quote unquote bisexual when you get yourself caught in a situation and you get outed for playing both sides of the fence. And then all of a sudden you want to say, but I'm a man. And guys who are heterosexual, like, no. You're not bringing them shenanigans on our side of the fence. That's not, you keep that where it's at. That's why it's the LBGT community, because straight men ain't no B in straight men. Ain't no the heterosexual, bisexual community. We ain't no B. Once you went over there, you stay over there. You know what I'm saying? Once you go dick, you never come back. That's how we look at it, right? And that's a big deal with us. Real big deal, because we get tired of being blamed for that. And also, as far as the quote unquote, like I got to bring this part up too. When kids wind up getting touched and molested by bisexual men, that gets dumped on heterosexual men. Guys don't like that, because they're like, no. Dude, that's not our heterosexual community that's doing it. That's their homosexual community that's doing that. And then when people get address stuff like that, then they say you're homophobic. It's like, no, I'm not homophobic. I'm just, putting the blame where it needs to go with certain situations. And, there's pros and cons with everything. So whatever pros to being gay, would take them pros with you. But whatever cons there is to being homosexual, you got to take those two with you. You can't, all the negative things about being homosexual, you start to say, oh, well, that's those men over there. No, we ain't feeling that. We are not feeling that. We're not having it. That's not our mode of operations. You get what I'm saying? So that's where we have a problem with bisexual men, because they want to have their cake and eat it too, but then say they're men at the same time, when men don't operate in the same way that bisexuals do. When it comes to the women, that's where it's a little more tricky for us black men, because there are black men who are like, oh, I like girls that like girls. And then there are guys like myself that's like, you just thirsty, B. You just thirsty. It's some kind of fetish or fantasy that you need to get out of your system, because that's not going to work in the real world. That might work because you are hypersexual, to say the least, but it ain't really it's not gonna pop. Like I know girls who had been with guys who wanted the threesome things, and I know guys who got mad about the threesome thing. My girl really liked this girl and she don't like me no more. You invited that shit into your life, B. I'm cheating on my girl because my girl is bisexual with other girls, so it ain't really cheating, And it's like, yeah, they're gonna have another situation. And where us black men have an issue with it is here. Bisexual women can toe the line better than lesbians when it comes to this. Because people make fun of lesbians when they wind up pregnant. Like, you don't even like guys. But bisexual women, oh, they could be with a girl one day, be with a boy with a guy, girl one day, boy another day, be pregnant, and then go back to girls. And the issue with that is, similar to lesbians, it's like, okay, you just had this baby because you wanted a baby. So the guy got used in this situation. And when you see a woman who's pregnant, a woman who's a parent who's with the same sex, then you're like, you played the guy in that situation. I saw the thing about Jay-Z was talking about his mother coming out as a lesbian. It's like, and I said this before in another video. Now, for all those years that he talked bad about his father, he has to sit down and look at it like, my mama didn't even like men. She might have wanted kids, but she didn't like men. You're right. I know some lesbians that don't respect bi women either, but it's like she didn't even, so all of these relationship issues that happen with men, with quote unquote bisexual women, come from the fact that they're trying to play both sides of the fence, because it seems like they go through phases. Oh, this is my season of like women. I'm tired of women. I'm gonna go back to men. I'm tired of men. I'm gonna go back to women. And unfortunately, that plays out in their relationships, because they do this flaky flip-flopping while they're with people anyways, because, from what I've seen, especially with, with the people the girls that I know that are bisexual, they are, they're just as flaky. It does with everything, because they feel like, what, I can go over here and get mine, but if I ain't get mine, I can just go over here and get mine. And then it's like, man, don't nobody want to play that game with you. Like, you don't be wasting my damn time. And they steal choice too, because of stuff like that. And then, brothers have a problem with that, because if you meet a woman who's a lesbian as a man, she might be attractive, but you ain't really going to talk to her, because you already know she's trying to be a guy. Yeah, they ought to be by themselves. I feel you. But when you deal with a woman that's quote unquote a bisexual female, what winds up happening is she wants to be a man on certain occasions and she wants to be a lady on certain occasions, even with a man. And you start looking at her like, look, man, I don't have time for your confused behind. Like, I really don't. Like, I said, open the door for me, dude. Hurry up, because I said so. Like, what the? I want some chivalry now before I kick your ass. Like, you know, I don't, and it plays into the the strong, independent woman thing. That's one of that's a little snippet of that comes from bisexuality. When I'm strong and independent and I don't need no man, but could you pick up the check, please? Because that's what men are supposed to do. It's like, if you don't get your fake ass up out of here with this bullshit, don't get mad at me because you broke or you cheap or you selfish. That's a problem. And when children are concerned, it confuses kids. You're right. You can't build with people like that. It confuses kids because, and brothers in particular, we can't stand this. Now you got you bisexual, so now your son's like effeminate and / hard, and your son's trying to figure this out. Your daughter's a tomboy / sex kitten, and it's like, oh God, you didn't mess these kids up. And then you go to court. If you're going through a custody battle, she's in a dress and I'm just a helpless female. Oh my God, I'm scared of him. Then she out in the streets, you know what I'm saying, dressing like DMX. Say, dog, you need to hit me up with that child support, dog. You know what I'm saying, son? You know what I'm saying, son? This is not a game, son. And it's like, you know what? And to the point where I've even seen cops, like, if a guy get into it and a woman is a lesbian or bisexual, if she's a lesbian, he's like, look, girl, lesbian. Like, okay, she wanted to be a man, whatever. And then the ones that's bisexual, she bisexual, but today she want to be a dude. And, what? You on your own, B. That's what you get. So it's a problem. Like, it creates a major, major problem. That's why, like I said, Black men aren't homophobic, but we ain't really feeling all that stuff like that. Then I'm gonna get to the G, right? LBG, yeah, that's the one. LG, whatever. But G, gay guys. See, here's a problem. For the whole group, Black men don't necessarily have an issue with gay guys because gay guys are openly gay. We just don't like being around like those overtly gay guys because it's like, you really an attention whore and you just doing too much, and that's really throwing off the vibe of the men in the building. Like, nobody trying to hang out with you. Like, I don't know what you think you doing right now. Like, it is I mean, ain't nothing wrong with Kevin. I mean, Kevin cool people. He got his opinion. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But that's the one thing. Like the flamboyant cats, yeah, man. I when you go places and you do things, the flamboyant cats are just, they know that they're annoying. And you could ask any straight guy. We can have conversations and chill out with guys that are gay and even flamboyant if they have a certain amount of respect and decorum. But a lot of these flamboyant cats, they have a problem respecting boundaries and have a lack of respect and decorum. They just do stuff just to push the envelope. And with men, it's certain things, certain lines you don't cross because it can lead into a fight. That's why men don't do certain things around other men or with other men, or say certain things or play certain games, because it's like, no, man, I'm not trying to get into it today because that's crossing the line. The stories about you when you watch Dave Chappelle's Rick James stories with him being a habitual line stepper. He knew what the things he did was wrong, and he caught an ass whipping for it. He didn't all of a sudden say, "Oh, you're Rick James-ophobic because I ran my feet into your couch. You got the money to buy a new one." He was like, somebody come to my house, do some shit like that, I whip their ass too. Like that's the type of stuff that people just don't want to admit, and it's bothersome. It's very bothersome. Gay dudes also piss us off because for some odd reason, women like hanging with gay dudes. And a lot of you ladies say, you got your gaydar, and you got your gaydar from a gay dude who knows what gay dudes, their mannerisms or things that are gay, and knows bisexual dudes that are playing both sides of a fence. But they know they could say that straight dudes are gay just because women will believe anything, especially with black men. That's why brothers hate it, because when women start talking and they get mad, the broke, the little dick, you can't fuck, little dick / you can't fuck / he gay. And straight men, that's why part of the reason why we just don't operate and like hanging around or being associated with gay men. Because once again, they'll say something to put something in the chick's ear and she'll run with it. They could just say whatever they want. Girl, he gay. Why he gay? I could tell by the way, I just look at the way his right sneaker lands when he walks and his left sneaker doesn't. Dude limping. Yeah, he's limping. You can tell he's sore. He might be sore from taking that dick. No, it looks like he's playing basketball or something, but whatever. Girls are running with it, right? And the other thing is, gay guys try to speak for straight men. We look at it as more offensive when they do it, because like I was saying with the bisexual guys, you don't quote unquote think like a man. You don't operate like men. You don't have the same drives that men have when it comes to women. So, or life in general. We don't go across the same paths. And we don't even operate in the same industries. You get what I'm saying? Like it's how many gay construction workers you know? You get what I'm saying? Like how many gay electricians but all of a sudden, I know what men are thinking because I'm a man, but and it doesn't, just because I'm gay, it doesn't mean that my point isn't valid. Yes, it does. Yes, it absolutely does. Because gay guys try to hang out with straight guys, around straight guys, and try to swagger jack just like them quote unquote stud lesbians do. Because they're trying to hide being effeminate. And this is one of the reasons I'm gonna say that right now. All this beard gang stuff. Don't you notice it's a lot of gay guys who you could tell is gay, but they trying to look more manly and masculine. They grew out a beard. Some gay guys got the beard and the tats, and then you looking at them, and they don't even have to be in videos. They're in pictures, and you looking at the way, just like, nah, B, you don't like women. You just by the way you looking at pictures, I can tell you don't like women. And men see it very easily, because there's certain things these guys do, or the clothing, the quote unquote metrosexual / blah 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 blah. Exactly, they do that snake stuff. He said they get hits when they. But they do the type of stuff, and it's like, no, man, you need to stay over there, man. Like we're not on the same team. We don't do the same things, and I'm not trying to play these games with you. And the one thing I will say that I think some straight men may be jealous of one particular thing when it comes to gay men, and it's custody. Because I've seen more women give their babies to bisexual men, or not give bisexual, quote unquote, gay men the kids like it's nothing, But straight guys, it's a fight, it's a war. And it's like, what the wait, you won't let a child be with their heterosexual father, but just like that, you gonna let them be with a, and to a degree, you know, it could be those could be women who are quote unquote bisexual or lesbians who intermingled and, you know, had a baby that way. But it's a problem. It's a problem. Wow. Hold on. You know, and I got to go back to the gaydar thing because me and my coworker, and even with the bisexual thing, I got a coworker, and we laugh at her every day about this. She's like, Luther Vandross wasn't gay. He's like, really, really. You know, it's just no, he wasn't. I can't see that. Freddie Jackson was gay. Freddie wasn't gay. You are my lady. Not that you thought he was really singing that. No. He was just singing a song. He don't like guys like that. You know what's going on there? So that's a problem because even with that particular thing, it's funny that some women can't see gay guys as gay, but they can listen to a gay guy tell you a straight guy is gay, and everybody just takes his word, and it's like, oh goodness, it's stupid. It is stupid. You know, that's the issue. It's just a big issue. Whose Tank is the new Luther? But Tank can't sing. I'm just being real. Tank can't sing. I'm just saying. He's a good writer. Can't sing. The last one was it? The T? Transgender. These people get on my nerves just as a parent because a lot of the times this quote unquote transgender stuff, as an adult, do what you want to do, but you ain't got to bring around me though. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want to do, but it becomes an issue when you see they're dressing their boys up as girls, and it's like this kid ain't. You know you didn't groom this kid to think they were this boy to say he was a girl. You didn't groom this girl to say she was a boy. And now you want to take that out into society and want everybody else to be cool with it. Brothers have issue with that, and especially when you do it with our children. And you know, that's part of the thing why it could be a straight parent or a homosexual parent who has their child identify as the opposite gender out of spite because they have issues with the other parent. You know, that's one of the biggest problems, you know. And then you see people, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just being a good parent. No, you're not. You being a jerk. You purposely screwing the kid up. And because, you know, that whole community is like, yay, we're going to add, this kid is going to be groomed into our community. They don't say, yo, that's wrong, B. That kid ain't let that kid choose their sexuality at some point. Don't put off your whatever on this child and have this child grow up thinking this is normal and then thinking the world is abnormal, but then seeing that, wait a minute, this is not how things happen. No, it's not. It's not at all. And then people want to be sneaky about it and sneak into people's venues and households. You know, you got a son and now your son says, oh, I feel like I'm a girl. I want to be a girl. And the world should go along with it. It's like, why the world got to go along with it? And you want to go to somebody else's house and tell them, you know, my son is wearing a mini skirt, but y'all should accept them. You're like, not in my house. And then you go say, oh, he wouldn't let me in his house because my son was wearing a mini skirt and he don't get down like that. Yeah, pretty much. Don't get down like that. What's the big deal? I wouldn't let a lesbian in my house, you know, trying to dress like DMX. Like, baby, you're not a. You can wear jeans, but wear female jeans. You know what I'm saying? You don't need boxes. Let's be real. Like you coming in here with boxes on, like, come on now. Like, you know, hate to break news to you, but that ain't, you know, what you whipping out? Like what? Chain wallet? What you talking about? What's going on, Harvey, man? If y'all don't know who Mr. Superboy 223 is, he one of the best YouTubers on YouTube. I've been following him for years. And if y'all haven't subscribed to his channel, you should. I just got to say that, like, one of the best YouTubers on YouTube, period. Point blank, bar none. You got a big fella. You know, much respect to you. Much respect. I was watching your Leon Dunham video before I even got home to do this. But that becomes a problem, a major problem. Because at the end of the day, now you have you want to interject yourself in the society. You know, you want people to go around and do this for me and do that for me, and it's not gonna happen like that. And that's why I say, you know, black men aren't homophobic, but we do have issues with it. Because when you trying to groom these kids to be transgender, this is where part of this no gender roles things come from. Because now men are not supposed to be men and women are not supposed to be women, and not people's roles are interchangeable, but people don't want to say this, right? Wait a second. Yeah, true. Black men more so, because that's what I was about to get into. People don't want to say this. They don't want to take on the responsibility of a male gender role. You know, and you got boys who, how can I put this? Men are looked at as the enemy in society, right? But at the same time, men are looked at as everybody's savior, who everybody needs to look to for help. And then you raise these kids and say men are bad, men are this, men are that. But when you really need some guidance, you need to go to a man. But if he gives you good guidance, stab him in the back because he's a man, he's an enemy. Or you know, men are no good, but they do work hard, they do make money. So, you know, be friends with them to get some money out of them. After you get it, you know, tell them they ain't nothing, stab them in the back and run off because they're the enemy. And then you got kids growing up not wanting to be a man because they looking at it like, why would I want to do that? Or like, why would I want to be everybody's savior / whipping post / that's who I could be a snake to. And then sometimes you got women on the other side looking at it like, well, the man is the power position, because how you gonna hate him on one end but always need him on the other? He doesn't really need you like that. And I know girls who were and are bisexual who took on the masculine role in a relationship just because they felt like that was actually the power position. But we're dealing in a different society where people don't want the responsibility of power. Now you're taking this to another level. And this is the problem with what I'm talking about with why we don't like, you know, why we have issues with the transgender mindset. Because if you're going to pick a side and stay there. But don't groom your child to be one thing. Because, you know, and us brothers, we see this all the time where we could have a son and you see our son on social media dressed up like Young Thug. And then we gonna cuss somebody out or try to or go off, and then all of a sudden we the angry black man because we don't want our son looking like Rick James in '82. You know, but nobody sees a problem with that, right? And then when a kid grows up to be so effeminate that he's no good to our community, and the women are starting to say, oh, he's a dog, but / he likes men, but / he don't want to be a man, but / now I got to take care of a grown man. Nobody looks back at it and says, where did this start? Where did this happen? And you hear guys saying, look, man, that's because you pushing this little quote unquote transgender mindset onto these kids. Same way you got these women who are late bloomers because they were taught to be strong and independent. And why I'm saying it in this way is because transgender doesn't necessarily it says you want to take on a role or something else. So when the strong and independent role, it's kind of pseudo a transgender role, you know. And then you get women who strong and independent themselves into bad health and stress, and they have issues with carrying kids. Now they can't, they lost their femininity, and now they're looking for a man to help them become women again. And guys don't want to do that. Out of the same reason that, you know, women say stuff like, you know, I'm not raising no grown man, not thinking that men are not trying to raise no grown women. So it becomes an issue. You know, it becomes a real major issue. Oh yeah, they did change their mind in the church, you know, but that's how the church get down, man. That's how the church get down. So what winds up happening to me, what I see, is we as men just are not feeling all of the hypocrisy and all the things that people are letting slide, you know. And to me, this is where all of the sexuality part goes awry, because, you know, manhood isn't defined by, and being heterosexual is saying, okay, men like women, women like men. But that's not a whole gender group, like not necessarily a whole gender group. It's not a movement to be, you know, heterosexual. And this is where it becomes a problem, because it's just like, you're not going to see black men going into homosexual spaces, because we're like, hey, that's where y'all at, do y'all thing. There are homosexual nightclubs in pretty much every city and state. What you're not going to see is straight guys just hanging out at the bar watching football, you know. Say, man, give me a shot of whiskey. Me and Caitlyn Jenner finna just go ahead, kick back and watch the Rams. I told you Ty Gurley was going to get it this season. I told you, B. I told you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to bet you some red bottoms that they going to win today. Like, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But the problem usually arises when, you know, people in the homosexual community want to always be in male spaces. And guys like, man, no, we don't want you here. Not because you're necessarily homosexual, it's because of the shenanigans you bring to things that we do. You know, it's the same way that, you know, the homosexual community push for girls to be in the Boy Scouts. Are you gonna put, you know, you're not gonna push for boys to be in the Girl Scouts, because boys like, I don't want to be a Girl Scout. Hey, what I look like? I'm a boy. I want to be in the Boy Scouts. Why would I want to be in the Girl Scouts? Like, makes no sense. I'm not going out with the Girl Scout leader. Like, it's called Boy Scouts. And that becomes a problem. So we have issues with stuff like that. Because even when it comes to just, you know, being straight or heterosexual, whatever they call it, right? Women have like gyms like Curves, you know, but there ain't no just straight men gyms, like just a man's gym where we can go there, you know, cut on all of the most aggressive music, just lift, talk shit, you know. If we want to, go in the corner and box and fight, and go out back and play football, and, you know, play basketball and hand check people and give people hard fouls and just do man stuff, kick back, you know, at the bench with a cigar, like, I'm doing a set of 15, bitch, we own this thing. We can't do that. If there were spaces to do that, then they'd be like, oh, you got to tone it down. We're going to have some ladies who want to come in there. And guess what, ladies? You know, guys can't be loud and aggressive. You know, yeah, we're going to cut off all of the hip hop and the gangster rap, and we're going to turn on a little Rihanna just to make you ladies more comfortable. It's like, come on. That's what guys went into gaming. Girls followed into that. You know, guys used to have sports. You used to be able to watch the game on days like Sundays, like today. See, I got my football apparel on right now. And then women wanted to get into sports. And, you know, we used to get tired of that back in the day, like, oh, I'm cheering for that guy. They used to be at the games. My cousin was in the NFL, and my aunt and my mother be at the game. Yeah, go. And it's like, shut up. He just got ran over. Like, what the hell are you doing? And, you know, so now we got to teach the game, and we got to water down the aggression and water down masculinity. And that's the same thing with the LGBT community. Like, we got to water ourselves down to make y'all comfortable. And we're not trying to hang out with y'all like that, but y'all always seem to find y'all way around us. And that gets annoying. It gets very, very annoying, you know, to the point where if you're a black man, that's one of the reasons why you don't go out as much, because you get tired. I mean, you know, when I get off of this thing, because I got back in from the gym, and I gotta go probably buy some clothes. I get tired of being in the men's section with women dressed like dudes. I get tired of that. I get tired of going places and kicking back with the fellas, and you know, a group of lesbians might roll up and just sit there and watch us be men to see if they could figure out how to be more manly. And it's like, you get tired of that. You know, you get tired of noticing guys who are quote unquote bisexual or gay, like trying to look at you like, you know, you want a little sausage today? Like, man, if you don't get out of my face, man, before I knock you out. You know, it's not homophobic. It's just people overstepping their boundaries, and a lot of us kind of react to that. You know, you get tired of having to argue about, you know, I don't want my son wearing skinny jeans. It's not a good look. I don't want my daughter, you know, dressing, you know, like J. Cole. No, let her be a girl. Like, chill out. And it creates so many issues that nobody wants to fix it. And ultimately, when it's all said and done, what winds up happening is us straight black men are blamed for all of this nonsense. Because under the banner of us being quote unquote homophobic, we don't like something, you're letting little things slide, and little things slide for years and decades at a time. And then these kids become grown and they go out into society and they're not equipped to deal with the real world. And then whose fault is it? Black men. You know, and you know, this guy was molested as a child, but it's black men's fault. And it's like, no, the guy that molested him was gay or quote unquote bisexual. That ain't black men's fault. You know, this guy doesn't, he has issues with his masculinity because he grew up thinking it was okay to be transgender. But if he had a man in his life to teach him how to be a man, he wouldn't have these issues. Like, yeah, that's what dad was fighting for when y'all told him he was homophobic. But now all of a sudden you just skip all those years of saying he's angry, he's aggressive, we're scared of him, we don't know what he's going to do with this child because we got to protect this child, even though we dressed him up like Lil Uzi Vert and told him that was okay and kept him away from his dad. And you remember how they had the girl who dressed her child up as a purse for Halloween? But when that kid grows up a little off, you know, and then you couple that with the fact that because of just the lack of the push and pull of men, masculinity, and fatherhood in America, that's part of the reason we have so many late bloomers right now. Because the current state of parenting does not help you become a proper adult right now. All of the things that fathers are important and fathers prepared you for life, all of that is shut down. And now you get kids that are 18 to 22 and the last child support payment is made. And now all they know is fashion. And, oh, I know how to read books, education, but I can only work under the most pristine conditions. And if the AC is on a perfect thing. And it's like, no, this is why brothers have an issue with that, because the LGBT community of homosexuals are overly effeminate with women and overly effeminate with men and overly masculine with women, because they're just trying to do whatever, and we don't understand what the hell y'all trying to do, to be perfectly honest, because at the end of the day, we don't really care about y'all like that. Like, if you're an adult and you out there doing whatever you want to do, we like, oh, whatever, you adults. But we can't overlook the fact that if y'all having a gay parade, it's a little kid 8 years old with a bikini on dancing. Like whoa. That ain't right. That ain't normal. And I'm not feeling that. And don't tell me that I hate you for being homosexual when I see stuff like that. No, not gonna do it. Because we're not gonna we don't allow kids in our normal heterosexual environment to go around and be hypersexual. Like, you better be a kid and sit your little want to be grown ass down. You hear heterosexual families and black men say this all the time. Sit your little fast ass down. Sit your little fast ass down. No, you're gonna be a kid. No, cut that movie off. You gonna watch the Powder Puff Girls or something, because that's your last damn Cardi B video, little girl. Dudes walking around, I'm gonna do this. What you say, little boy? Boy, you ain't even got no hair on your boy. Get your little soft ass down there. You ain't a man yet. Don't even try it. But we see no boundaries with their community, no boundaries whatsoever. And we get sick of being blamed for this stuff. I mean, if they would take responsibility for their own actions and the things that they do, guess what? We wouldn't have anything to say. It was like, if they could police their own community and not involve the rest of society, or involve parents and schools and churches to always cater to them, we wouldn't have nothing to say to them. We go whatever, y'all, whatever. No. Think about it. As Mr. Superboy was talking about Leanne Dunham. If you had a man say, I stuck marbles up my little sister's vagina, and wrote a book about it, and he was the writer of a show called Boys, the whole world be like, whoa, B. You can't make this guy a millionaire after you saw that. He wrote that. Like, he needs to be in jail right now. That's not even what's up. That's not what's up at all. But unfortunately, they say this is normal. They just, it's nothing. Nothing. Okay, I got your nothing. So at the end of the day, it's not a hatred towards y'all. We're not scared of y'all. We just don't. We don't do what y'all do. We're not operating the way y'all operate. And you don't get to bring homosexuality and heterosexual spaces, because we're not trying to bring heterosexuality into your homosexual spaces. It's just called respecting the line. Stop being a habitual line stepper. We don't have to accept everything. We don't have to let everything in our house. We don't have to let everything into our lives. We don't have to let everything into our parenting. We don't have to. It's not a situation where, you got to accept us. No, we don't. I can accept you as a human being, but I don't have to invite your lifestyle into my life. That's your lifestyle. You keep it in your life. You get what I'm saying? It's just as simple as when you go into a quiet neighborhood and you turn your music up all the way to 1,000. Obviously, everybody in the neighborhood likes it quiet. That's why it's a quiet neighborhood. Once you turn your stuff up and blast it on 1,000, you are aggravating and agitating the whole neighborhood. Because that's not what they was trying to do. Like, why they call the cops on me? Because You knew it was quiet when you got here. You just was being an agitator on purpose, you know? So in my opinion, like, man, at the end of the day, you know, we don't hate homosexuals, but we are not, we don't have to accept homosexuality. Like, you know, do you where you do you. Just don't do you. Just you don't have to overtly do you around me, because I don't care. You're trying to be an attention whore for homosexuality, and you don't understand it's annoying that I don't care. Like, I'm not, you can do that over there, B. Do that over there where your community loves it and praises it. Don't bring it to mine. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing these Sunday live streams because I got more free time on Sunday. So thank y'all for coming out. God bless. Good night. I got some errands to run. So y'all take care. Peace.